Hi, I'm Mark, and in today's lesson we're going to look at how to play your first dad rock solo in A minor. So the way today's lesson is going to work, you're going to hear 10 licks arranged as a solo over a backing track, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and I'll take the licks apart one by one. So here's the whole solo. So a bit of a tongue-in-cheek title for this particular video. When I'm thinking about dad rock, I really mean kind of classic rock, blues rock, kind of AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Free, that kind of thing. So what I've got is, I hope you've seen the solo, I hope you agree, really simple licks but they sound great. So all those licks come from the A minor pentatonic scale. And if you're not aware of the A minor pentatonic scale, it goes like this. Okay, and if you want to go into that in more detail, there's tons of videos on YouTube that'll teach you all the fingerings and everything and go into a lot more detail. I'm kind of assuming that you probably already know your A minor pentatonic scale because it's the first scale that most of us ever learned. Okay, so that's the scale and all the licks come from those particular notes. So the other thing to mention is that the rhythm part, the backing track that I play over, that's available as a separate video on YouTube, so you can jam over this yourself. Once you've learned the licks, you can practice them in context. There's an MP3 of it available, but that's only available for my Patreon supporters. If you're not a Patreon supporter, just use the link in the description below to use the video on YouTube. Okay, so I'll quickly show you the backing track is in A, and it basically goes like this. Okay, really simple. It's just an A chord, a G chord, and a D chord. Couldn't be simpler. Okay, so what we play over that is the A minor is licks from the A minor pentatonic scale, and so lick 1 goes like this. Okay, couldn't be simpler. All we're doing is starting on the 5th fret and sliding to the 7th fret on the D string. Okay, that's a really simple lick. Lick 2 now goes like this. Okay, again, really simple. 7 on the D string, 5 on the G string, back to 7 on the D string. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and obviously that flows off lick 1, kind of quite nice. Lick 3 now goes like this. Okay, and here it is nice and slow. Okay, so we're starting 5 on the D string, 7 on the D string, and then 5 twice on the G string. So that part, nice and slow, goes like this. And then back to 7 on the D. So that part. Okay, and that's kind of like the first half of the phrase. Second half of the phrase then goes 5 on the D string, 7 on the D string, 5 on the G, back to 7 on the D string. So the second part, nice and slow. Okay, put the two parts together, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up to speed. Okay, and you notice when I'm resting on that 7 on the D string, I'm just giving it a nice little shake. So that is your root note. So that note over this progression is always the note that's going to sound strongest, the root note. So you got a root note here. Where are we? And you got a root note here, 5th fret, top E string. And you'll notice those are the 2 notes that the solo kind of focuses around most. Because they're the root note, they are the note that's always going to sound best. Okay, so that was licks 1, 2 and 3. Lick 4 now goes like this. Okay, and nice and slow. Okay, and it's a kind of Johnny B. Good type thing, which then influenced like everybody else. So we're starting 7th fret on the G string, bend up a whole tone, and then immediately hit the 5th fret for both the B string and top E together. So I'm holding both of those down with one finger. So we go the bend, and then 5th fret. Okay, and you're kind of counting this 1 and a, 2 and a. Okay, so that bend and then hitting the 5th fret, you're doing that twice, and then you're going to start doing that the 3rd time, but on the 3rd time you're only going to hit the 5th fret once before immediately hitting 7th fret on the G string. Okay, so whole lick, nice and slow. Okay, so that was lick 4. Lick 5 now goes like this. And it's basically the same lick played twice. So we start on G string, 7th fret, bend up a whole tone, come back down to the 7th, off to the 5th fret, and then 7th fret on the D string. So that part goes like this. And you're basically going to do that twice. Up to speed, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was lick 5. Lick 6 now goes like this. Okay, and you're hitting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. Okay, that's the kind of the rhythm of this. This is a technique known as sequences, and you get sequences an awful lot in rock music. It allows you to build up speed as you become better at doing these things. I've started with a really simple one. So what we've got is basically a pattern of 4 notes, and we're going to start those 4 notes with 8th fret of the top E, off to 5 of the top E, to 8 of the B string, back to 5 of the top E. So that first piece goes like this. Okay, so that's 4 notes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to start on the B string, and we're going to go 8 to 5 on the B string, to 7 on the G, back to 5 on the B string. So that then goes like this. Okay, so you should see the 2 are very similar. Okay, and then the next set of 4 notes is 7 on the G, off to 5 on the G, to 7 on the D, back to 5 on the G string. So that bit goes like this. Okay, so put all 3 together. So far we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to end by simply playing 7, 5, 7 on the D string. Put the whole thing together nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that idea of sequences is something that you'll find really common in rock music. Players like Jimmy Page used it, Eddie Van Halen, other players. And it's a way of building up speed very quickly into your playing, because you teach your fingers a pattern and then the fingers just keep repeating that pattern, but they just start at a different point. So in our example, we're playing a 4-note pattern on using 2 strings, and then we played the same 4-note pattern just using 2 different strings, and then another 2 different strings. You can do similar ideas. That was using 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can do similar things, build up speed. You go into triplets, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, etc. So here's an example. So that was going down kind of 4 notes at a time. Here's an example going up 3 notes at a time. Okay, that's actually a lick from Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. But it takes exactly the same thing. You're going 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay? And you're basically running up in 3s, playing 3 notes at a time, and just each time starting at a different starting point. So that idea of sequences is something that builds into your playing, or you can build into your playing to build up speed. If you like that idea, check out, I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube that looking at sequences, but I wanted to include it in this solo because it's just such an important part of playing kind of rock music. So that was a sequence of 4 notes, then 4 notes, then 4 notes, etc. And it's just the same pattern repeated. Okay, that was lick 6. Lick 7 now, much simpler, goes like this. Okay, and really easy. 5 on the G string twice to 7 on the D string once. Lick 8 now goes like this. Okay, another really simple one. We're starting 8th fret on the D string, bending it up a whole tone, and then immediately hitting 5 on the top E. And we're hitting that twice when we hit the 5 on the top E. And the reason we're targeting that note is because, as I said earlier, that's the root note. Okay, lick 9 now basically takes that idea and just plays with it a lot more. So we get this. Okay, and what we're doing here is again 8th notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're grabbing 8 on the B string, up a whole tone, and as soon as we get there we're grabbing 5 on the top E string, and we're doing that, we're basically doing that like 4 times. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then what we're doing is we're doing the same thing, but or similar thing on the top E string. We're grabbing 8, bending it up a whole tone. It's a bit slower this time. Then what we're doing is 5 on the top E, 8 on the B string, back to 5 on the top E. So that last piece just goes like this. And the difference there is when you're curling it up from the 8th fret on the top E string, that's a slower bend than the other bends you've been doing. Okay, so the whole lick nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the slow one actually wasn't that much slower after all, but you get the idea. So that was lick 9. Lick 10 now goes like this. Okay, and it's basically in 2 parts. The first part goes like this. So what we're doing there is 8 on the B string, up a whole tone, grab 5 on the top E, back to 8 on the B string, back to 5 on the B string. Okay, and then what we're going to do is the second part is going to take 7 on the G string, bend it up a whole tone, back down to 7 on the G string, to 5 on the G string, to 7 on the D. Okay, put the 2 of them together nice and slow. And up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was all the licks. If you like this, please hit subscribe, please hit like, and all those kind of things. Please leave me a comment, tell me whether you like the lesson or not, and if there's any particular licks that you're struggling with, or timing, or anything else, and I'll try to help you. Big thanks to all those Patreon supporters who make it possible to do these kind of videos and pay for the cameras, the lights, and everything else. I'll see you again, and please check out my other videos. Remember, the backing track's available. See all the information in the description below. Oh, and if you want a copy of the tab, send me an email. Details in the description below. Send me an email. Tell me that you want your first dad rock solo tab in A minor, and I'll send you a copy of the tab back. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you again.